All right, so this is the activity that I asked you to do on last week. Last week means like we tried it in the class, right? So, but I couldn't show this to you by coding it. So let me quickly do the coding regarding this. So for that, I'm taking the notepad. So I'll keep my output on this side. Right, so I'm going to do this. So HTML tag. So I need the end of the HTML tag. Then inside that, I'm going to take the body tag. Right, so inside the body tag, I'm going to create a table tag. Right, and since I need to see the border, so I need border, I'm assigning border as 1. And again, my table tag has an ending tag as well. Now, if you look closely, your table has 4 rows and 3 columns, right? So that means I need 4 TR couples, right? So first of all, I'll take my first TR couple, right? So likewise, I need 4 of these things, right? So I have 4 TR couples. Right, so TR stands for table row, right? You all know that. And inside that, inside a single TR couple, usually I got like to show 3 columns in my table, I need 3 table data columns, which stands for TD. And if you look closely, the very first row is in bold. It's in boldface, as well as it is center aligned, right? So what can we do is, so that means inside the first row, I'm going to have TH, table header, instead of TDs, right? So there should be 3 THs. So it can indicate column 1, column 2, and column 3, right? So I'm going to say column 1. So it's going to be column 2. This is going to be column 3. So let me save this. I'll save it on the desktop as table.html, and I save it, right? So you can see the table.html. It is right over here. So if I double click on this, yeah, this is the output so far that you can see. Right, so I've got the first column, and it is we can't see whether it is center aligned or not, because it is just the size of the column. So when the table grows, it will show us the things, right? Okay, so then, so the first TR has 3 THs, which indicates the headers. So headers, you can see it is being bold faces. So the next TR, that TR, now you can see row 1, cell 1. It is being spread over 2 cells, like along a single column. So it's not the column that are being spanned, it's the rows that are being spanned, right? Span when a rows they go. Right? So that means in the next TR couple, I need TD. So inside this TD, I have to say row span, right? Row span equals to 2, right? So 2 should be within inverted commas, right? Then this is going to show row 1, cell 1, right? So in the other two TD couples, you can see now I have to first I have to concentrate about the second row, which has cell 1, row 1, cell 2, row 1, cell 3. So this is the one which is going to be there in between these TDs. So this is going to be row 1, cell 2, and this is going to be row 1, cell 3. If I save it, then we'll refresh this and see what is going on. Yeah, now you can see. And you can't see the row 1, cell 1 is being spanned because the second row has not populated yet. So then I'm going to, actually the third row is not being populated yet. So the third row, right, in third row. Now, when it comes to the third row, you have to be very careful. In the third row, the very first cell is already being consumed by the previous row from this row span, right? So the first row is gone. I'm sorry, the first data is gone. First cell is gone. It has been already consumed. So the next two cells are going to be there. So row 2, cell 2 and row 2, cell 3. So for that purpose, I'm going to introduce only 2 TDs because 2 is enough. Right. So, So in one, I'm sorry. In one cell, it's going to be row 2, cell 2. And the next line, it's going to be row 2, cell 3. Right. If I save this and if I run this again, yeah, now you can see. Right. So this row 1, cell 1, it is being spanned over the next row. It is because of this row span equals 2. Right. So if you look into the last row, you can see it's just one big cell that you can see there. And the first cell, the second cell, and the third cell of a particular row is going to be merged. Right. So this is that particular row. So I have to say call span equals 3. Right. I'm sorry, I took it on the wrong place. TR එකේ අපි TD එකේ ලියන්නේ. Right, call span equals 3. So here we got row 3, cell 1. Right. So the final one will hold only one TD because all three TDs are being merged. So it is considered as one, the very first 3D, right? The very first TD that is going to take. So it is going to be row 3 cell 1. So I save this and I'm going to refresh it. Yeah, there you go. So it is the way that we can create the output of our activity. Okay, people, any doubts regarding this? And please mark your answers, right? If you got all correct, please mark it. And if you got any mistakes, please highlight those and write the correct answer, right? Okay, people, can I have the confirmation? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, Dulagi. How about others?
Yes.
Right, great. All right. So now we are going to go for the next part, right? Okay, here we go. So in the textbook, the next one is the web designing softwares. So far we have learned about how we are going to create a particular web page using the notepad by writing different number of elements or the tags in simple terms. Then we are going to have the particular web page that we have designed, right? So it is full of coding, right? We code and then we save it as an HTML, then we test, right? And now we are going to talk about the web authoring tools. What are these web authoring tools? Now, web authoring tools are the tools which reduce the programmer work, right? Which reduce the programmer's work and make it easy for them to create particular complex code within a comparatively less amount of time, right? So they have given some kind of examples for the web authoring tools like Composer, CK Editor, Blue Griffins, right? So in our syllabus, we are going to talk about this Composer, right? So these three are like what we call free and open source softwares, right? But there are some licensed one as well. If you have if you heard about Dreamweaver, it is doing the same thing like the Composer, right? But it is not free, right? This Composer, CK Editor, and Blue Griffin, they are free to have the things that we need to do, right? So as you can see, they have shown us some particular web page which is arranged on this manner, right? So this is something very different that we have the things that we have created using the notepad. So if you are going to code this thing again, it will consume your time, right? So to do this, we need the web authoring tool called Composer. Here they have used the Composer, right? So you can download the Composer setup from the composer.net, right? And I'll show you what are the things that we can do to get on to this. Okay, and before we move forward, it's better we have the heading and copy some note regarding this, right? So have this heading, Please copy it to your book, have that heading. Then what are we going to say? Okay. Yeah, you can write this sentence. Start with letter A web designing software which facilitate web designing quicker and more attractive. Plus this one as well. Let me know when you are done, people. Seran, WordPress is a content management system, which we are going to discuss at the latter part. After we talk about the web authoring tool, we'll talk about the CMS. So web authoring tool means you are given the tool so you can design it very well, right? Okay, two are done. How about others? Is there anyone still writing this? Okay, can we move forward? If there is anyone still writing this, please indicate me. Okay, so I'm moving forward. So next is about the web authoring tools, right? Let me see. Yeah. yes, it's better we have this heading plus the first paragraph copied. Right, please copy it. All right, one is done. How about the others? And people, as per the examples, it's better you write down the software names, right? So just put example, and then it's better you like it like this. Open source web editors such as this thing, and yeah, and Adobe kind of things. Yeah, like 2 example lines. Open source web editors such as Composer, CK Editor, Blue Griffin, and the license one, Adobe Dreamweaver, Microsoft Front Page, Visual Studio, that are to be purchased.
So the Visual Studio is free.
Yeah, now it is free kind of thing. Neither. Now they are like allowing us to download it, but again, it's something like what we call like a limited. Neither me student විදියට හරි මොකක් හරි එහෙම නේද දෙන්නේ? ඒක full package එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේද දැන්?
No, they give the full package. Like you just have to add the plugins and the language. That's
Really. No, Binadi, it's a, this is, I think this is a printing mistake. It should be HTML, not HLML. Hold on, the special features. Yeah, HTML. Definitely it is the HTML in the second line, not HLML. Right, please write the examples. Then we'll go and see how the composer looks alike. Okay, are you done with the examples? All right, so let's move and see how the web authoring tool looks alike. All right, so let me take the composer. Actually, it's there in my web desktop. It's just, yeah, like composer, it's kind of a portable version of a software. So like you really don't need to install it. We can just copy paste and we can just execute it. Right, so this is the composer interface, right? So there's the menu at the top of the window and some frequently used commands are there at the bottom after the main menu, right? And some important components regarding the particular particular source code or particular HTML code is there, right? These body tags, you can see like here, paragraphs, headers, right? Some things are there. Classes are there, like classes are actually not meant for you. We are not talking about that. And this is to emphasize, that is kind of a bold thing, right? The strong emphasize, the numbered list and the bulleted list, indentation is there, right? Definition terms are there, right? And variable width is there, and this basically defines what is the font type that we are using. And this is to the choose the color, right, for some components. And these things, like the increase the text to decrease the text, these bold, italic, underlines, and the alignment tools, right? Those kind of things are there. And at the top, as you can see, at your right, they got these anchor links, the images, tables. We didn't discuss about the forms. Forms is not in your syllabus. And the cascades. So this is what we call CSS. CSS is actually used to like make the web page beautiful, more decorative, right? But we are not doing CSS for the moment. We are just doing only the HTML part. But when we are designing something here, we can use that, right? And as you can see, this particular sidebars is indicating how big your component is going to be, and this as well. So it says 987 pixels to its width. And you can see at the bottom the HTML tags, the source, the preview, those kinds of things are there. All right. So let's see how these things are going to work. All right. So I'll show you a simple thing, right? Yeah, Minul, you can use JavaScript as well, right? Right now, I have typed something called Star Labs, and I select it, and I'll make it big using this, and I'll make it bold. I'll make it italic, and I'm changing the color to the red, right? And let me change the font type into, let's say, Arial, right? Likewise, right? Now it is very easy. Like we are doing some things on a web page, on a particular Word document, right? Now I can center line this, right? So you can see the border is given. How's the border is happening, right? So I have done some changes, right? So I'm in this normal tab, not on the HTML, not on the source, not on the preview, right? So when I'm going to the HTML tags, right, it will give you some idea about how we are using things. Now let's look at the source. Now source means the code or the HTML code that we need to see, right? Yeah, just a second, people. I need to increase the size of this particular thing. So let's see. Text. So no, it's not changing. Yeah, let me take the magnifier. Magnifier can right? Okay. All right. So now this doc type HTML public something something, it is the way that we are going to start a particular web page. It defines the document type and some meta tags regarding this. You don't need to bother about that. But you can see they have taken the HTML, they have written the HTML tag for ourselves and head tag. And here they have used some meta content type of things, which you don't need to bother for the moment, right? And there is nothing in the HTML, the title, right? And look at the body. So it says body, the style, height, they'll take an as 20 pixel, something like this is what we call a CSS, right? So an attribute kind of things. Later, I'll show you how these things happens, right? Look at this. They have used something called some particular tag called div, which we haven't learned about it. And then they use a tag called big. And inside that, they have given them CSS related, right? Not the HTML base, right? So here they said font weight, they taken as bold. That is how the bold tag represented by the CSS. You don't need to worry about those. Font style they have taken as italic, color they have taken as red, font family is taken as Arial, right? So it is not, that's why I told you like just HTML. Nowadays we are not using the HTML to decorate the web page. It's the CSS that we are using, right? And they have used this tag called big to make it Star Labs, the word Star Labs, much bigger, right? So what you need to understand is you really don't need to bother about these things. So what you have to do is you are just creating this particular web page, and the code is automatically written for yourself, right? So if I take an image, I can give the location of the image from this. So I'll go to ICT, go to O-level, go to this, and I'll take this one, right? And if you want, you can add alternate text. Do you remember the tag called ALT? So I'll put SL as the for the ALT tag, and you can change the dimension for the actual size, or you can give a custom width and height, like we use width and height in the attributes, right? So I'll give you how much. I'll give 6, 9. This is 2 to 3. I'll give 200. Yeah, so it is correlated. Once I change the width, height is been already taken. And appearance, I can say how many spacings are going to be there. Aligned to the text, we can say where we are going to set according to the particular component, right? So at the top of the text or at the center of the text, how it's going to be, right? And if you want, you can add a link as well, right, to the this particular image. So I'm going to not going to change those. So I change the dimension, right? And I'm pressing OK. So here it comes, right? Now, if I want to change this attributes regarding this particular thing, right? I have to go to the image properties and do the changes again, right? Then make a Word document එකේ වගේ අපිට මොන විදිහට මෙයාව එකපාරට එහෙම ඇදගෙන ගිහිල්ලා හරියට මොන තැනක තියාගන්න අමාරු. Like we can do several different changes, right? It's like we can change the size and we can make it smaller, kind of things. Seran, we use both these ways. Like this is like what I'm doing. The Seran is asking what is the most used way making the website. So this is one way of doing it, Seran. So we can arrange the things offline. That means on a single computer. Then we can upload this to the server. Or using a CMS, content management system, we can change the appearance of the website online, right? I'll show you that as well, right? So they use both the things, Saran, according to their requirement, right? So if I want to take this into bottom, so I can make it like that, right? So even I can change this the way they are just by using the enter key, right? So if I make this as Sri Lanka, right? So I have created a web page with the image included in it. And after this, let's say I need a table like this, yes. So I can change the way table is going to be. And I can just type the things. For the moment, I'll just type some basic things or like some words inside this. Right, so I can make the contents. I can change it to the way I want. If I want, I can select the entire thing. I can change the colors as well. Right. And I can have the other properties just by right clicking on this, right? So you can see table cell properties are there, table insert, select, delete, table or cell background colors, right? So here I can have the choices, the cell colors, the table colors. So if I take cell colors and if I make it loose, right? Likewise, I can change the colors, right? And I can change the font like this, right? In a way that I want the content to be, right? And I can right click and I can go for the table properties. Seran, sometimes we need that, right? Especially when we need to program some things, we have to go for those. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for the a way like how to make this center align. Now I can't directly find a way to center align this, right? So what I can do is I can go for my HTML source and you can see like there are many different codings has happened. See, here you can see the table tag is open. Here the table tag is closed, right? So if I put a center tag over here, right? And if I close it from here, let me see whether my, yeah, so my output is changed. Earlier it was not centered. Now it is being center aligned, right? So likewise, we can do the changes, yeah. And once we double click on a component, we can have these properties right over here, right? So table alignment, we can make it from there as well, right? So likewise, there are many possibilities, many things that you can do. තමන් ඕගලන්ට දීපු practical එක earlier, if you are going to make it through this, this is going to be a piece of cake, right? So once we've done this, we can save it, right? So they are asking for a title for the current page, so I'll give Sri Lanka and say okay. Then see, automatically they are going to save an HTML file over here, right? So I'm going to save it. So they are saving the HTML file. Let's see how it happens. Yeah, here's the HTML file. So once I double click on this, this is the web page that I have created. So I haven't, actually I have wrote the center tag. It's only the center tag that I have wrote, right? So I don't need that to be written as well if I know all the components in here, right? So using that, you can create many different creations. So that is what they have done over here, right? So they have taken a particular table, right? As you can see, then they have spanned some cells, right? Then they have placed the components like this over here, right? So අපිට ඕන විදිහට images අරගෙන buttons දාලා මේවා දාලා fill කරගන්න එක තියෙනවා, right? So which is easy for you to do it, right? Okay, so I'm not going to go further than this. I allow you to have the practicals, like there are some steps given over here. So just read it through and do it, right? Because this is not going to be there in your examination, right? So I'll show you the basic idea how we are going to use this, right? So just give it a try and have some experiment using this, right? So you can create many different pages and you can save it using the save as or the save button when you are saving the HTML file, right? Okay, people, is that clear? The things that you can do using the Composer or like the web authoring tool. Right. So you download the Composer and give it a try, right? Just try to find these images, just one image. If you search it in the internet, the human body parts, you can find it. Then you can create this thing, right? So here they have taken a table. They have merged the very first cells and 3 columns are there. So in the first row, they have merged 3 cells. And in the next rows, the first cell is there. And here, all the cells are being merged as well as here. Right. So you can place the things. You only need to place the things like I place the Sri Lankan map, you just place this particular image, and you can just type the things like this, right? And you can put these links if they are say so, right? They haven't mentioned to where like that these things are going to relate. And since in the textbooks they are saying respiratory system, nervous system, what is this, excretory system, blood circulation system, and reproductive system. So you can find again 6 different services, right? Right. So then it's a piece of cake of drawing that. So when you do the like create the different kinds of pages, so using these links, you can create the links. So you can tell with what page that you are going to link with, right? So you know how to manage and hyperlink. Here in the composer, if you want to create a link, so it's easy, right? As an example, if I show this to you, let me type something over here, click here. Oh no, for some reason the space are getting bigger, so I don't worry about those for the moment. I just select this, click here, right? And I'll make it a link, right? So link text is click here. So link location they are asking. So if I give a web page location like this, let me take the take my website's address from here. And I'm going to paste it. So I have given HTTP like the :/www.starlabs.lk as the link. That means the value for the href, right? Then I say okay, right? So this is the preview. So if I save it, yes, Saran, we have to. We are talking about those things. Like it is there at the bottom of the Minul. I use the CMS, content management system, which is the Joomla, right? I'll show you that backend as well, right? Right. So I have done my changes. Let me see. Click here is not working. Just a second. It's Seran. It's the Joomla website. Actually, the Joomla CMS that I have used to create that particular thing. Let me see the source. So in the source that they are saying there is a anchor tag, and in href I have given the things, right? So Yes, Saran, I have paid and taken my domain name, which is starlabs.lk from the LK domains. So it cost me like 3,500 per year. So it's an annual payment that I have to do in each and every year, right? Let me save this as a new one. Let's say new. Let's see whether the changes has happened or not. Oh, it is not happening. Why it's over here? Oh, yes, there is. Oh, for some reason, link is not working. It's not clickable. Something is wrong here, people. I don't know why it is. Hold on. No, it's working in a clickable way over here, but not on my browser. No, for some reason it's not working. I'll look into that, people. So anyway, just have the idea. This is the way the editing is going to happen with a web authoring tool, and you can feel, or you can see how quicker we can do the things when we are having a web authoring tool, right? We don't need to like type all the HTML and all these things. Then api peli 10ක විතර වගේ table එකක් හදාගන්න ගියොත් it takes a lot of time for us, right? So we just use this web authoring tool and just create it like we are doing things in the Word document, right? So later we can do all the changes that we want, right? So it is easy as that, right? Okay, so SSL certificate, Seran, it is regarding some security certificate that is issuing with the website, right? So we have to have that certification to make the thing. So like to give the idea to the particular users, or to give the attitude, or like give the feeling to that particular person that this is going to be like with this particular security things, right? So there are different types of things that we use for the security, right? So like HTTPS protocol, there are many different things, right? So likewise, when you have to purchase a domain, they are offering the things like this domain is with the SSL certificate and the HTTPS one. Likewise, with the plans there, right? We have to go and take those things, right? Okay, people. So from web authoring tool, jump into the next things. So yeah, let's just we talk about the web authoring tool. We wrote about some things, so we don't need to go through these things. Okay, then we are there to talk about the static website and the dynamic website. Now, static and dynamic means, now static websites are the websites which are not changing their contents for a long time, right? So they are just having a very constant content inside it. So if it needs to be changed, we have to, like the website owner have to log into the back end of the web page or a particular website, then they have to change it, right? So usually some content which is just to show or which is just to refer by the user, but he or she won't be able to do any changes to the web page, right? So whatever that particular person who has host the website is showing, you have to see it, right? That's all, right? So now if you take my website as an example, it's kind of a static one, so you guys can't change anything over here, right? So only on the contact us page there is a yeah, I have taken that out as well. But කලින් මම මෙතන දාලා තිබුණා email එකක් එවන්න පුළුවන් facility එකක්, so I have taken that out as well. So you can't much interact with this, right? So you can go for the things and you can go and see the recordings that I have done, but you can't do commenting or any other thing. You can't do like things like that, right? So it's pretty static, right? You can't do any interaction. So you can't basically, web page does not change, the content does not change because of the user, right? And again, think about the websites like social medias like Facebook, Instagram kind of things, right? So they are highly dynamic, they have highly dynamic pages, right? So it is changing always. And there are buttons, there are text boxes, right? There are many other components where a particular user can interact with, right? So it's not because of it is not only from the back end that particular website is going to change. With the help of the user, that means from the front end as well, it's going to change. Now, when we put a comment on YouTube, right? So it is done by us, from the users. So the web page content, there is a content which we have added to that web page, right? So that changing has happening from the front end, right? YouTube එකට videos upload කරන එක ඒ දේවල් ටික දැන් even uploading a video also can be done by the front end, no? So like we are connecting with the we can use the YouTube and we can upload a video to the YouTube as well. Again, it is again from the front end, right? So there are the dynamic means highly changing, right? So it will use different kinds of techniques, different kinds of language to do this, right? So when it comes to the static website, it's basically mostly depend on the HTML codes, right? And they are well structured, and as I told you, like no interaction can be done, right? But here the dynamic websites, it's use PHP hypertext preprocessors, right? And active server page, ASP.NET, and Java server pages, right? JavaScripts kind of things to create the to give the ability of the interaction for the user, so they can interact and do the things, right? So those are called dynamic web pages. So when it comes to the dynamic web pages, this database server is a must. Now, when it comes to the static websites, we have server. So the one who owns this website can log into the server and do the changes. So the client from their browser, they are going to see what are the changes has happened. But when it comes to the database server, from the back end as well as the front end, the things can be changed, right? Okay, people, is that clear about the static websites and the dynamic websites? Seran, it's like this. Now, web server is something that has its HTML sources, or like we basically say HTML pages are held by the web server. Database server is not holding the HTML document kind of things, but all the data related to it, right? So it can be comments, it can be images, it can be other resources which can hold into a database, right? So web server is the one which holds the web pages and show to the outer world. Database server is just helping to the web server to show the things. So when we are putting a comment, it is reflected on the web server as well as it is being stored in the database server. එයා ඒක බලන්න ඕනම database server එකෙන් ඒක අරගෙන තමයි අපිට පෙන්නන්නේ. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවානේ අපි ෆෝන් එකේ FB pages hari Instagram pages hari scroll කරගෙන පහළට යනකොට they are getting loaded, right? ඒ load කරන්නේ database server එකෙන් අරගෙන ඒ පහළ තියෙන contents ටික අපිට පෙන්නනවා. Right? So ඒක කියන්නේ මුළු page එකම එකට පහළට තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. Once we scroll according to the requirement, it takes the things from the database and put it on the web page and show it to us. This is how the things are happening here. Right? Okay. So let's write down regarding the static and dynamic web pages. So have the heading, people. Static websites and dynamic websites, the heading, right? So you can put number 1 and write with the static websites like this. Yeah, Seran, I'm using a local, a person who is maintaining a server in Sri Lanka. His like the server name is like Vorex servers, right? There are many different people who have these server spaces. කෙනෙක්ගේ server එක ලංකාවේ නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ. එයා ඉන්නේ ලංකාවේ. ඒක server එක වෙන කොහේ හරි reside වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, but he owns that server space. So he can rent that server space for some particular annual amount, right? Again, I'm paying 3,500 for that server space annually, right? So then he is giving me the things. I'll show you the things. I'll show you the things, right? Then you will have the idea, right? So on this static website, let's say it like this. Yeah, take down the very first paragraph. Yes, Seran, that is what actually we have to do. Api website එකක් host කරනකොට we need two things. We need a name, which is the domain name, and we need a place to put our HTML files, right? So that means we need a server space. We can't own our own server because maintaining a server is not a simple thing. So what we instead of that, we are like renting a space from a server, right? So that person who owns the server will allow us to put our web page in a certain space in their server. So it will be able to see by the outer world. yeah, in the second paragraph, have this line and as well as this line. No, Seran, creating a dynamic website using only HTML is not possible. It is because we need the other resources as well. දැන් එතකොට ඔයාට පුළුවන් හදන්න ඔයා PHP ගැනත් දැනගෙන ඊළඟට JavaScript ASP.NET ඔක්කොම ඉගෙනගෙන ඒ මුළු ආකිටෙක්චර් එකම හිතලා හදන්න පුළුවන්. But it will be a very hectic work, Seran, right? So we have a very simple tool called CMS. So we just use the CMS and the CMS will do the hard work for us. We'll just arrange the things. Okay, one is done. How about others? All right, two are done. Is there anyone still writing? Right. Okay, so moving forward. So regarding the dynamic websites, so have the heading and yeah, please write this first paragraph with the example, people. after the class. I'll come after the class also.
Please, I won't.
Yeah, yes. Saran, Wix, yeah, Wix is a CMS.
But I wanted to bubble.
Right, and Sohara, you will fall. Be careful. Go to Ammi. I'll come after the class. Go to Ammi. And people, let us see whether we need to go some things from here as well. Mhm. Yeah, I want you to draw this one. So keep space for that, right? You better draw this diagram, right? Under the note. So we can go for the CMS, right? So now CMS, now you can have the CMS experience by installing a virtual server into your computer and by installing the CMS onto your computer as well. But it is not real-time experience, right? So what I'm about to show you is a real-time experience. Now here, what they have described to you is how to install this the Joomla software and the virtual server onto your computer, right? So first of all, you have to install this kind of virtual server, right? Now what they have said, this Apache, PHP, and MySQL, you can install these things separately into your computer, or else you can just install one of these things. So either the WAMP server or the XAMPP server that will install these three things straight away, right? So then after, they're asking you to download the Joomla software, right, from this particular URL, right? Then you can install that Joomla onto your computer as well, right? Then you can have the idea or the experience that I am about to show you. Now, remember, when you are doing things like this, it is happening on your computer. You are not connected to the internet. What I'm about to show you is like the real thing, what happens when we are connected to the internet and when we are maintaining something through the CMS, right? So to do this, I need to go to my admin panel. Now this is my front end. So to go to the Star Labs admin panel or the backend, I have to have this Star Labs administrator index.php. So now I'm going to log into my backend of my computer. So I'm going to stop the sharing for a moment. Otherwise, you will see my password, which is sensitive data of mine, right? Right. So okay. So I'm giving the username and I'm giving the password. Okay. So here we go. Now what you can see is the back end of mine. Right, so this is the back end of this is the control panel of the starlabs.lk. So I got some installation, the new extension installation for me, right? It's a little bit complex, right? But here you can see like new articles kind of things are there. So we use articles to create the web pages, right? And we can have different kinds of users. We can deal with the menus, right? We can use templates. Just see here. See, I got these popular articles kind of things like home for Nanopathy student, GIT for Starlab student, contact us, right? So these are the things that you can see on my web page. So home is this, right? For Nanopathy students, for Nanopathy recordings, that is the one that you can see, right? This is GIT. So GIT is right over here, right? Actually, not the menu item that they are talking about. It is about the web page that they are talking about, right? No, it's like this, Seran. Seran, you can't use it online, Seran. To use it on, you can use it online, but to have to use the Joomla online, you should have a server space. Can you server space එකක් දුන්නම ඔයාගේ server එකට Joomla install කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? එහෙම නැතුව ඔයාට Joomla online use කරගන්න බෑ. That is why they have given the instructions over here how to have that experience offline. Offline එක ගන්න විදිය තමයි මෙතන කියලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ XAMPP හරි server එක install කරගෙන එතකොට virtual server එකක් install වෙනවා ඔයාගේ computer එකට. Then you can install the Joomla from this URL. So you can use it as the way I use it, but it is not online, it is offline, right? So, but you can have the experience, right? So now I'll move to my articles. Now these are my web pages that I have used in here, right? So now this is my home page, right? And this is the contact us page. This is the GIT page. This is the LMS page, right? So likewise, I have used for Nanopathy students. So these are some articles. Articles means I'll open you some article and show it to you how it happens. So this is my article. So once I open the article, you can see my home page. So this is the backend. So එතනත් එන්නේ ආයෙත් සරයක් අර authoring tool එකක් ඔයාලට දෙනවා CMS එක ඇතුලේ. You can change the things, right? දැන් මම මෙතන මම මේ timetable කියන එක timetable starlabs කියලා මෙතන type කරොත් starlabs, and if I save it now on my home page, it's just timetable, right? I have done the editing over here, timetable starlabs. So I'm saving it. So here I'm saving it on the back end. Once I save it, if I refresh this, so you can see it, timetable starlabs over here, right? Then අපි මේ වැඩේ කරේ අපේ offline computer එකේ නේද? මතකනේ අපිට authoring tool එක අරගෙන වෙනස් කරාම අපේ browser එකේ පෙන්වන එක change වුණා. So the same experience happening, but this happens online. Then මේ මම back end එකේ ඉන්නෙත් online. මගේ website එකත් up and running, right? So likewise, you can have many different articles. There are videos arranged කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට Starlabs students කියන එකේ this page. So this is the way I have arranged the videos for you, right? එතකොට මෙතන තමයි මම ඔක්කොම දේවල් ටික ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මගේ මේකෙත් I can see my source, right? මේකේ source code එක බලන්න මෙන්න මේ පොඩි icon එකෙන් මෙතන source code එක පෙන්වන්න කියලා. දැන් මේ වගේ තැන්වල තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ you should know how the HTML works actually, right? දැන් මේ source code එක දැක්කොත් පේනවද? එක සැරේ අඳුන ගන්න අමාරුයි. Right? ඒක අර වගේ ලස්සනට එන්නේ නැහැ. Right? ඉතින් අපිට සමහර changes කරගන්න ඕන වුණාම I have to go through carefully and do the changes that I want. Right? So this is what you call the CMS. Right? So you can use the articles, then you can inside an article you can have it. So at the new article එකක් ගන්න ඕන නම් you can take a new article, save and new යන්න පුළුවන්, new එකෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මම මෙතන මුකුත් click කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ in case මෙතන මොකක්hari changes වුණොත් it's going to be a problem for me. Right? I'm going to clear this as well. Right? And
so if we are coding a website, and like if you want to reach the backend, we should do it via the host, right?
We need to, because without a host manual, we can't actually show the website to the outer world. Hosting is the process which is allowing others to see our website through the.
No, I mean, like, how can we reach the backend of the website if we like host it? Yeah, like if we don't make it via the content management system.
Well, come again. How we
if we just normally build a website using normal code, then host it via some HostGator or something, and then like how do we reach the backend?
It's like this. HostGator kind of people, when you are purchasing the domain, and you have to purchase a server space anyway. So server space will give you a control panel. So what we are doing is either we can install this Joomla kind of software through that control panel, then they will give us the permission to log into this Joomla backend. Otherwise, in the control panel, they have this www folder. So we can upload our codings that we have done in our computer to that www folder. So it will shows on the domain name that we have provided to that, right? So you have to purchase a domain name, you have to purchase a server. When you are purchasing the server, you are given the control panel. Then using the control panel, they are given this www folder for you to upload the codings that you have done or the HTML files that you have done. Once you have uploaded to there, so with the domain name, you can access that particular folder. So you can www folder එකට දානවා කියලා කියන්නේ අපි web එකට එයාව allow කරනවා කියන එක. Right? මම දැන් Joomla වලින් කරනකොටත් වෙන්නේ මගේ files ටික මගේ control panel එකේ තියෙන අදාළ www folder එකට upload වෙන එක. So what you can see over here is what is there in that folder. Got the idea, Minul?
Yes.
Right? මම control panel එකක් පෙන්නන මට control panel එකට යන්න දේවල් ටික refer කරන්න. I'll show it to you on next week, right? කොහොමද ඒක වෙන්නේ කියලා. Right? දැන් අපි ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට CMS එකක් එක්ක ලේසි වෙන්නේ වැඩේ අපි දැන් control www folder එකට if we upload the things to the www folder, if we want to do any changes, they are not very much user friendly like this. එතකොට අපි coding එකෙන්ම බල නේද අපේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකත් එක්ක check කර එන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මෙතන එහෙම නෙවෙයි. මෙතන මට preview එකක් automatically දෙනවා. What is happening? So මෙතන තියෙන එකම තමයි මගේ මෙතන දකින්න හම්බෙන්නේ. Right? But when we are dealing with that, it's not that user friendly. But ඒ වුණාට අපි අපේම team එකකට යනවා නම්, so that is the only way that we can go. Right? Okay, so people, the time has up, and if you got any questions, you can stay and ask, right? Others you can leave. We are going to continue the HTML, so most probably by next week we will be able to finish up the HTML. Then we can go for the papers, right? So get ready, and I'm going to end the session officially from this point. If you got any questions, you can stay and ask, right? Others you can leave, right? So thank you very much. Have a very nice weekend. I'll meet you on the next week for the same time, right? 3 o'clock at the Podda Parakuna. I'll come on the 3 o'clock on next week, right? So thank you very much, people. Have a very nice weekend.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Seran, okay, Minul. Seran, ඉන්න මං උත්තර දෙනවා ආගේ ප්‍රශ්න ටිකට.
Thank you, sir.